survive more than 15 years. Are not a replacement for policy change. Verdicts are not a substitute. A jury doing its job in its system is not a replacement for us doing our job in that system. And there are way too many people, including my colleagues, that think that's the case. George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Is it important? Yes. Does it solve the issue ultimately? No. This is not about cameras and retraining and chokeholds. This is about changing how we structure our society and the valuing of Black life. So yeah, there's legislation in here that's not bad. That's important. That should be passed. But even a lot of that doesn't hit the core, because politically, it has been something that politicians have not been allowed to talk about for a long time. And I'm okay saying that. This is not about a party. I mean, obviously Republicans got issues, but Democrats have a lot to contend with too. Not good enough. And there's some things we really got to talk about. We really got to talk about how democratically controlled cities still pump and pump and pump police budgets. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about, even when those democratic cities pump up those police budgets, do the rape kit logs go down? No. We got what's happening in New York City, where it goes to buying robo-dogs. So money's not the problem here. And I also want to say this, this problem doesn't just start with democratically elected municipalities. It starts here. It starts with the United States Congress, Democrats included, funding a military budget that's out of control, that militarizes our governance structure and invests in military more than it invests in so many other critical services that we need as a country. So we're cool raising this military budget year after year after year, putting and producing more tanks, more guns, more weaponry, more surveillance, and then that trickles down to our police departments. There are literal transfers of military-style equipment from the corporations that we prop up, that go to our police departments. So it starts here. It starts right here. And this is not just about Republicans. It starts with Democratic leadership as well. And I don't feel resolved today. I don't feel resolved that we didn't even feel safe thinking that this was going to happen. This right here, this is where a lot of surveillance comes from. Surveillance technology. And then when people want to put, when we have police departments, NYPD, that wants to put facial recognition in the subway system, where do you think that comes from? It comes from right here. So I don't want this verdict, so I'm balancing and I'm holding space for complexity right now, because I am praying for the Floyd family. I'm praying for the city of Minneapolis. I'm praying for our communities that feel surveilled, that they feel like they can't even go to a nice store without picking something up and buying something because you're afraid of being accused of stealing something. Like, I want to hold space and feel like, that there's some shred or shadow of relief today. I think that's what I'll say. a tiny bit of relief. But verdicts are not substitutes for policy change. And this one case and this one verdict, we still have people getting killed by police every single day on average in the United States. And not every one of them has a cell phone, and not every one of them is a perfect victim, as people and media seem to need and want. And, it's just a shadow, a shred of the fact that millions of people had to march for George Floyd to be treated as equal and human in an unjust system. That's not justice. And so we need policy change. We need systemic change. I hope that if you're feeling relief today, I just want to affirm that if you are a community that has been impacted and roiled, if you're a person whose family has been torn up by this, I just want you to know that I'm holding space for you today, and that, we just need to feel what we're going to feel today. But this is not resolution. It's just a moment, but this isn't resolution. And this doesn't end until we address the massive systemic institutional racism in the United States that leads and accepts Black people, our Black brothers and sisters, our brown brothers and sisters, our Native brothers and sisters as less than human. That's literally what it is that we're willing to accept violence against some communities as a necessary cost for safety. And when we talk about these conversations of safety from what? From whom? Because